Stocks pair gains amid doubts about China trade deal. Stocks gave back most of their gains Tuesday after a report said China may be walking back some trade offers. The Dow traded 70 points higher after rising more than 100 points earlier. The SP 5 Caterpillar shares briefly traded lower before holding around the flatline. Boeing also paired. Stocks initially moved higher as investors bet on the Federal Reserve striking a dovish tone at its latest monetary policy meeting. The Fed kicked off its two-day policy meeting on Tuesday. Market the Fed is also expected to lower its interest rate forecasts plots to show little or no further tightening in 2019. With global my expectations are that the Fed will maintain their dovishness, said Gregory Farinello, head of rates at Roberts Ryan. The eyes will be on the one potential area of concern would be if the data was not cooperating with the pivot, Farinello said. When we look at its January meeting, the Fed indicated it will be patient in raising rates. That shift came after stocks have been on a tear since the Fed's last meeting in late January. In that time, the rally could extend further as several investors are still on the sidelines. A survey however, investors may be growing complacent as risks such as Brexit and US-China trade negotiations remain on the horizon, said Randy Frederick, Vice President of Trading and Derivatives at Charles Schwab. I feel like the market is pricing in a best-case scenario on both of these things, Frederick said. This is a good time. We've had a tremendous run in the SP 500 since December 26, Frederick added. We're only a few CNBC's Spriha Srivastava and Sam Meredith contributed to this report.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.